Now I know just how heaven feels when I get behind that steering wheel. Down a flow and power glide, water stroked, I'm satisfied. Come on, take my baby for a ride. Ooh, she's like a smooth stretch of highway. Ooh, she's like a smooth summer breeze. If my motor's running right, if I lose control tonight, got the shape I love to scream. Looks that bring me to my knees, oh please, let it go tonight.
It's now confirmed 3 U.S. troops were killed by a drone strike linked to Iran.
Americans died today in Israel after an attack by Hamas.
According to NBC, a Chinese spy balloon that flew across our country gathered intelligence from U.S. military operations.
13 American soldiers have been killed by a suicide bomber in Biden's failed pullout from Afghanistan.
The Defense News reports today that the U.S. military is in decline, and threats from China are formidable.
Prevailing view among Americans is that U.S. influence in the world is weakening, and China's is growing.
A new poll out reveals that Americans believe their influence in the world has weakened.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Michael Whatley of North Carolina.
Delegates and alternates, ladies and gentlemen, Republicans around the world, have we had a great first 2 days of this 2024 Republican National Committee? You know, when you think about where we are as a country today, you got to start by thinking about where we were 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Russia was in check. China was in check. Iran was in check. Our southern border was secure, and our economy was strong. Where are we today? Russia has invaded Ukraine. They've parked a nuclear missile-capable boat 90 miles off our shore in Havana, Cuba. China is saber-rattling and threatening Taiwan. And Iran has openly attacked our ally, Israel, through its proxies and with its missiles. 10 million illegal immigrants have come across our southern border. And we don't know who they are, where they are, or what they're doing. Our economy is not nearly as strong as it was 4 years ago. We can do better. We need to do better. Tonight, we are going to hear from great speakers from across the Republican Party. We are going to hear from President Trump's son, Donald Jr. We're going to hear from the next Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. And we are going to hear from real Americans who are going to tell their stories about how we need to make America strong again. So it is my pleasure to gavel open this third day of the 2024 Republican National Convention.
Offering today's invocation, please welcome Delegate Evelyn Nunez-Jones from California.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be together in this room. It has been a long journey for many of us, especially for President Trump and his family. Please remember our fellow patriot, Cory Campetori. At this time, we invite you, Holy Spirit, to be part of our convention. We praise you, Heavenly Father. We seek for you to guide the steps of this delegation, the steps of our President Trump, and the steps of his newly chosen Vice President, J.D. Vance. Remove all stumbling blocks. Jesus Christ, we ask for a new restoration of America, especially for our children. We pray for protection, divine wisdom, and revival for our country, for my state of California and our party. In the name of Jesus, we pray for victory in 2024. En el nombre de Dios, in the name of Jesus, amen. Let freedom reign. Woo!
Please rise for the presentation of colors. The colors are presented by Scouts of America, Troop 222 of Racine, Wisconsin. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Color guard, hold. Color guard, forward, face.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Coughlin from New Hampshire to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Now, to perform the national anthem, please welcome Jenny Thiel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Please remain standing while the colors are retired.
Color guard, right, face. Color guard, forward, march. Left, 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 right, left, 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 left.
Before his weakness, America had strength. Strength respected by our allies, feared by our adversaries. Strength that kept Russia out of Ukraine. The Middle East at peace. Iran's nuclear efforts stalled. Our borders safe and secure. Terrorists ISIS destroyed. And American soldiers out of war. Because that's what a strong leader does. And our soldiers always knew this commander-in-chief had their backs. He was there with them on graduation day, visited with them here and around the world, gave them their largest pay raise in a decade, and he never forgot them after they served, and made sure every vet finally got the health care they deserved. President Trump, he's making America safe and strong again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Brian Mast of Florida.
Good evening, America. I'm Congressman Brian Mast. Now, I've got to start with a salute to every warrior standing guard around the globe on an aircraft carrier, in a foxhole, on a base somewhere, in this audience, or just watching from home. We love you, veterans. We love them. We love them. I too am an Army veteran, a husband, a father of 4. I lost 2 legs and a finger in the war in Afghanistan, but nothing could stop me from standing alongside Donald Trump and fighting for America. Every one of you American service members and every veteran knows the dangers when we join the armed forces, but we risk our lives because we believe in America. As president, Donald Trump rebuilt our military, deterred our enemies, and he made America strong again. Now, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have once again weakened our armed forces and through inflation slashed the size of our military budget just like they slashed the family budget. And at the same time, they've distracted our troops with millions of hours of so-called extremism training, and they've based promotions on adherence to left-wing political ideology rather than merit. They would rather lose a war than use the wrong pronouns, and we've had enough. Donald Trump knows that our military needs warriors and not woke weaklings lecturing our warriors. Biden and Harris's weakness invites aggression, and our enemies are on the march. Russia invaded Ukraine, Hamas attacked Israel, Iran is funding terror across the Middle East, and the Chinese Communist Party has Taiwan in their crosshairs. And with his botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, Biden delivered what President Trump rightly called the most embarrassing day in American history. And what's worse is that Joe Biden doesn't even remember that it cost the lives of 13 American heroes. But when their coffins arrived at Dover, he did remember to check his watch, didn't he? Nearly 2,500 of my brothers and sisters gave their lives in that war. Joe Biden disgraced their sacrifice and the sacrifice of all Afghanistan veterans. Kamala Harris stood with him when he did. Neither deserves to be saluted as commander-in-chief or to sit in the Oval Office. American veterans and American service members deserve better. America deserves better. And with Donald Trump, you know that we don't just get better, we get the best. Donald Trump restored American strength before. Donald Trump will restore American strength again. And with your vote, we won't just make America strong again, we will make America stronger than it's ever been. May God bless you, God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina.
Good evening, America. My name is Nancy. Don't call me Pelosi, Mace. I'm a congresswoman representing the great state of South Carolina. At the age of 17, I learned that dropping out of high school might not have been the best idea. So I took my first job at a fine dining establishment some of you may know as the Waffle House. Denny's was a little too highbrow. While Waffle House was an important part of my journey, it would not be my destination. I soon went from making waffles to making history. 25 years ago, this high school dropout became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. A college campus where we don't burn American flags, we salute them. I'm a single mom and a rape survivor. To women tonight who can relate, please know you have a friend and a sister in me. And I will fight like hell for you. I'm the daughter of an Army Brigadier General and a school teacher. I've admired my dad's Distinguished Service Cross from Vietnam. I've endured the rigors of a Citadel education. And today I represent a district that includes Parris Island, where we make Marines. What we're witnessing today is proof that strength preserves peace and weakness invites war. We can never project strength around the world when weakness stands in the White House. Nations like China see weakness as opportunity. China's fentanyl invades our borders. Their arms supply Putin's regime. China supports enemy states like Iran. They oppress their own people, especially their women. The world is watching America, and we must show them what we're made of. And I know a strong leader when I see one. Donald Trump stood up to China before, and he will do it again. Anyone who thinks they can take on Donald Trump or take down America is now on notice. Just as Trump quickly rose to his feet with a defiant fist in the air in Butler Township, Pennsylvania, when we re-elect him as president in November, America will soon be back on hers. We will be courageous, we will be resilient, we will be united, and we will be prepared to take on the challenges of this historic moment. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America, and God bless Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Ronnie Jackson of Texas.
All right. All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and good evening to my delegation from Texas. My name is Dr. Ronnie Jackson, and I'm the congressman from the 13th Congressional District of the great state of Texas. Prior to being in Congress, I served on active duty in the Navy for 25 years. I was a Navy deep sea diver, an emergency medicine doctor, and a combat physician in Iraq. During that time, I also had the distinct privilege of serving for 14 years as White House physician. But most importantly, I served as the appointed physician to the greatest president that this country has ever had, Donald J. Trump. And not only that, but now I can say I served a president who literally took a bullet for our country. President Trump and I have been through a lot together over the years, but I have never, ever been prouder of his leadership than I was last Saturday. His warrior spirit and his display of will to keep fighting for our country, even after getting shot down, will go down as an all-time moment in American history. I know firsthand from my time at the White House that being a president is an unrelenting 24/7 job. Time off truly just doesn't exist. Our president needs to make clear and decisive decisions in a moment's notice. When the phone rings in the middle of the night, the president must be ready. Unfortunately, our current president is not ready for that call. Let's not kid ourselves. Father Time has not been kind to Joe Biden. And China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, they do not respect Biden's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. schedule. And we would not be in this situation were it not for Joe Biden's staff and his family. They should have compassion for him and prioritize his health and our country's security. But they have put their own interest above America's interest. Perhaps the greatest blame lies with his own Vice President, Kamala Harris. She has not been truthful with us. She has lied to us. She has put party above country, and she is as unfit in character as Joe Biden is in body and mind. Between the wide open southern border, the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, record high inflation, and the devastating crime in our streets, this administration has now produced a legacy of failure, disappointment, and danger. There is simply too much at stake to have someone who can barely shuffle to a podium be the one that is responsible for the safety and the security of our country. Every second that Joe Biden remains in the White House, this country becomes less safe. However, under President Trump's leadership, we will restore our standing on the world stage. We will bring back our great economy we had. We will finally secure our southern border. We will rebuild our great military. We will clean up crime in our streets. And most importantly, we will have a president who is respected by our allies, and who is feared by our enemies, and who leads with strength. Let me close by saying, the path forward is simple. It is very simple and straightforward. We need to make America great again, and we need to do everything we possibly can to re-elect Donald J. Trump as our president. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Acting Director of National Intelligence, Richard Grenell.
Hello, California. Last weekend, the American people bore witness to the instinctive courage of President Trump. We all know the contrast to Joe Biden could not have been greater. Tonight, I want to talk to you about why President Trump's strength and grace, which now even his opponents struggle to deny, have consequences beyond American borders. From 2001 to 2008, I served as America's spokesman at the United Nations. Back then, Republicans believed America's duty was to spread democracy by military force. We were misled about weapons of mass destruction. We intervened in other countries' affairs and signed treaties that only benefited other nations. We spent too many years ignoring America's priorities. That's what happened when Washington stopped being the capital of the United States and started being the capital of the world. There was only one man with the strength to call out the lies and failures of both Democrats and Republicans: Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't care if you're gay or straight, black, brown, or white, or what gender you are. He knows that we are all Americans and that it's time to put America first. After 16 years of wars and chaos, the world looked different when President Trump was in the White House. Russia invaded Ukraine under both Obama and Biden, but Putin did not dare escalate under President Trump. Under Trump, China was challenged. Under Trump, the Balkans were more peaceful. Under Trump, the Middle East signed historic peace deals. Under Trump, Iran was broke. Under President Trump, we put American interests first. There were no new wars. Old wars ended, and America had the greatest economy in the world. But after 4 years of Joe Biden, wars are back, the Taliban is back, and members of ISIS have slipped through America's broken southern border. Russia is sailing warships off the coast of Florida. China is bullying its neighbors. Iran is waging a war in Israel and Gaza with help from Joe Biden. And Joe Biden's radical supporters have overtaken our universities, burning American flags, cheering for terrorists, and calling for violent revolution. The reason the world is on fire is because President Biden is weak in more ways than one. But Donald Trump's opponents, here and abroad, now see clearly his incredible courage and resilience. They stand in fear and awe at the thought of his return. By voting for President Trump, you are casting a vote for the strength and grace that will bring peace and prosperity back to you, your family, America, and the world. Don't let anyone ever tell you differently. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida.
Donald Trump is unstoppable. Elect him president again, and America will be unstoppable too. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's been out of it. Democrats have been hiding the real Biden for years. We saw people in the witness protection program more often than we saw unscripted Biden. Under Biden-Harris, America has fallen sicker, lonelier, and poorer. Under Trump, we prospered, we were richer, inflation was low, and there were 2 genders. Under Biden-Harris, inflation has gotten so bad you can no longer bribe Democrat senators with cash alone. You have to use gold bars just so the bribes hold value. Oh, the swamp draining will recommence soon, and I will be President Trump's strongest ally in Congress to pass term limits, to stop taxpayer funding for political campaigns, to ban members of Congress for life from becoming lobbyists, and for the same reason you don't let the referee bet on the game, ban members of Congress from trading individual stocks. I am proud to stand before you, the only Republican in Congress who takes no lobbyist money, no PAC money. It's not good for me. I work for you, not them. President Trump, he'll never defund our police, but he will defund foreign aid to countries that hate us. And President Trump understands that if it isn't racist to check ID for a hunting license or welfare benefits or a fishing license, then it is okay to demand an ID to vote everywhere in this country in every election that's held. A Democrat congressman recently said that any criticism of Joe Biden is ableist. I don't think it's too much to ask that the American president be able to do the job. Kamala Harris isn't able to do any job. She was appointed border czar. Appointing Kamala Harris to oversee the border is like appointing Bernie Madoff to oversee your retirement plan. President Trump has shown the world what he is made of, and now we will show the world what America is made of by having his back. And how about the choice President Trump made for a running mate? JD looks like a young Abraham Lincoln, but he's from Ohio, like General Grant. And like General Grant, JD Vance knows how to fight. So they can run Biden from the nursing home, Harris, George Clooney, Robert De Niro, whoever they want to run. We are on a mission to rescue and save this country, and we ride or die with Donald John Trump to the end. Thank you all so much. Thank you for having my back. Let's go get him.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former United States Ambassador to the Holy See, the Vatican, Callista Gingrich.
Good evening. Tonight, we look toward a brighter, safer, and more prosperous future with Donald J. Trump as our next President of the United States. When I served as President Trump's ambassador to the Vatican, I witnessed the importance of having a president who stands up for religious freedom. Over the last 4 years, the failed policies of the Biden administration have jeopardized our right to worship freely and weakened our nation. Freedom of religion is one of our nation's most important foundational principles. Throughout our history, the right to practice our faith has been at the heart of the American experience. Today, this fundamental right is under attack. In recent years, the radical policies, rules, and regulations imposed by our own government have threatened people of faith. However, we have reason to hope. In our lifetime, no president has done more to advance and defend religious freedom than President Donald Trump. During his term, President Trump defended the rights of doctors, nurses, and teachers to act in accordance with their conscience. He appointed 3 Supreme Court justices committed to protecting our God-given right to worship. He expanded school choice and defended the First Amendment freedom of every student to practice their faith in public schools. As president, Donald Trump signed an executive order that defined international religious freedom as a moral and national security imperative. And he was the first and only president to convene a meeting at the United Nations dedicated to ending religious persecution and defending religious liberty around the world. Tragically, many of President Trump's policies have been replaced by the Biden administration's anti-faith agenda that uses the power of the government to impose its far-left ideology on religious believers. Biden's FBI has even stated that practicing Catholics present an elevated risk of domestic terrorism simply because of their faith. Unlike President Biden, President Trump has a proven track record for promoting and protecting religious freedom at home and abroad. Our choice is clear. We need strong leadership, bold action, and unwavering commitment to preserve our God-given rights. I am confident that President Trump will continue to fight for our founding principles and beliefs when he becomes the 47th President of the United States. Thank you.
Please welcome Newt Gingrich.
Thank you very much. That's a very warm welcome. You know, President Trump understands that the world is dangerous and that it takes an enormous effort to defeat anti-American and anti-freedom forces around the world. He also understands that when faced with multiple adversaries across the globe, the Reagan principle of peace through strength is the only road for safety for the America and the American people. The contrast between President Trump's realistic policy of resolute strength in a dangerous world and President Biden's policies of appeasement, weakness, and self-delusion may be the biggest difference between the Make America Great Again movement and the Make America Weak ideology of the left. We have to remember that the greatest threat to American safety is not Biden's brain. The greatest threat is Biden's policies and the people he appoints to implement them. He is working towards appeasement when the world today is incredibly dangerous. A growing coalition of dictatorships is actively trying to undermine American power and conquer America's allies. A religious dictatorship in Iran, which chants death to America, is on the verge of having nuclear weapons. Russia's dictator has unleashed the deadliest European war since World War II. Communist China continues to develop its military power while actively seeking to undermine America through espionage, fentanyl, and the infiltration of our companies and our universities. Faced with these clear and present dangers, President Biden has adopted failed policy after failed policy. Where President Trump orchestrated an orderly end to the Afghanistan war with no American killed in nearly 2 years. Biden ordered a chaotic, panic-filled withdrawal that left 13 American troops and hundreds of Afghans dead. Where President Trump insisted on keeping Bagram Air Base, which is located within 1 hour of the Chinese nuclear facilities, President Biden gave it to the Taliban, who are now allied with Communist China. Where President Trump brokered the Abraham Accords and was moving the Middle East toward peace and cooperation, President Biden's weakness and confusion led to a terrible Hamas assault, killing more than 1,200 innocent people in Israel. Under Trump, we achieved peace through strength. Under Biden, we have war, suffering, death, and a world teetering on the edge of World War III. Like Prime Minister Winston Churchill and President Abraham Lincoln, President Trump understands that only a firm, courageous policy of strength will work in a dangerous world. The message for this November is clear. You can vote for weakness and war with Biden, or you can vote for strength and peace with President Trump. Let's dedicate ourselves to making America safe, strong, and proud again with President Trump. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Director of the United States Office of Trade and Manufacturing Policy, Peter Navarro.
This is a beautiful thing. And I think I think you folks just want to know if you can see my MAGA tattoo I got there. Yes, indeed. This morning I did walk out of a federal prison in Miami. Joe Biden and his Department of Injustice put me there. Tonight I'm here with you in this beautiful city of Milwaukee. I've got a very simple message for you. If they can come for me, and if they can come for Donald Trump, be careful, they will come for you. If we don't control our government, their government will control us. If we don't control all three branches of our government, legislative, executive, and judicial, their government will put some of us, like me and Steve Bannon, in prison and control the rest of us. Here's how it went. Here's how I got in prison. The legislative branch came for me first. Your favorite Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, created your favorite committee, the sham January 6th committee, which demanded that I violate executive privilege. What did I do? I refused. The J6 committee demanded that I betray Donald John Trump to save my own skin. I refused. Here's the thing about the Constitution. They demanded that I break the law because they have no respect for it. I refused. And a Democrat majority in the House then voted to hold me in contempt. All right, what happened next? The next jackboot to drop was the executive branch. Another one of your favorite Democrats, Democrat Attorney General Merrick Garland. There's a winner. Him and Jack Smith indicted and prosecuted me for criminal contempt of Congress. Now, here's what's weird about it. It's something that Democrat prosecutors refused to do against one of their own, including two guys with blood on their hands, Eric Holder and Alejandro Mayorkas, the great border czar, right? They've actually gotten people killed. For decades, the Department of Injustice right now, the Department of Justice policy stated, hear me out on this, if Congress slaps a subpoena on a senior White House advisor like me, the advisor's duty is to politely tell them to go pound sand. That's exactly what I did. So far we got two branches, legislative and executive. The judicial branch delivered the final blow. Just as, here's another favorite of yours, just as Democrat Judge Juan Marchand, you know this guy? Did to Donald John Trump in his Manhattan kangaroo court, another Democrat judge, a guy named Ahmed Maida, keep your eye on this guy, Ahmed Maida, Obama appointee, they stripped me of every possible defense, and then what? Just like in Manhattan with Donald Trump, they threw me to the wolves of an anti-Trump jury, and where? The D.C. swamp. They convicted me. They jailed me. Guess what? They did not break me. And they will never break Donald Trump. They will never break Donald Trump. All right, now here's the most important thing I'm going to tell you. You may be thinking this couldn't happen to you. Make no mistake, they're already coming for you. Joe and Kamala, they threw out the woke blue carpet across the Rio Grande, opened our borders to what? Murderers and rapists. When Donald Trump said it, thank you for saying that, when Donald Trump said murderers, rapists in 2016, they go, oh, racist, whatever. We read the papers. It's murderers and rapists. Murderers and rapists, drug cartels, human traffickers, terrorists, Chinese spies, and a whole army of illiterate illegal aliens stealing the jobs of black, brown, and blue-collar Americans. They put them right on your front doorstep. Now, here's another thing Joe Biden did. You got to love this. The green new scam. We're in the heart here in Milwaukee, around all this. This is where the auto industry, that new scam is destroying our industry, leaving us at the mercy of the battery factories in Shanghai and slave labor in the Congo. Biden inflation. You're going to hear a lot of this because it's so friggin' true. Biden inflation is coming after what's left of your savings and eating your wages. And the Democrats, here's the thing. I'm sitting in prison thinking about this. It just eats at me as the Democrats come for your kids. They're indoctrinating them with poisonous attitudes on race and gender. And here's the thing, when politics fails, the investigations and prosecutions begin. They did it to me. They're going to do it to Trump. But hear me out. They've also done it to Catholics, pro-life activists, and parents who are just standing up for the kids at school board meetings. This is a tale of two Americas, and you know it wasn't this way when Donald Trump was president. I remember the days I was there. In Trump's America, you were safe and our borders were secure. In Trump's America, you were more prosperous, and you didn't have to choose between what? Food on the table, medicine in the cabinet, and a roof over your head. And in Trump's America, you didn't have to worry about being locked up for disagreeing with the government. I went to prison so you won't have to. I am your wake-up call. All right, this is where I'm going to have fun now, because I'm going to leave you now with the last three words my beautiful fiancé said when I left that morning for prison. They weren't, "I love you." That was a given. She simply said, "We got this. We got this." That's what bring my girl out now. That's what these lawfare jackals don't understand. When they put people like me in prison and fire figurative and now literal bullets at Donald Trump, they also assault our families. On Election Day, America will hold these lawfare jackals accountable. Now, here's the sweetest thing that's going to come off my lips. Vote Trump Vance. 24 for Trump 47. I'm Peter Navarro. I went to prison, so you won't have to. This is my beautiful girl. She did the time with me. That's what these friggin' Democrats don't understand. They do this to our families. She's my girl. Yeah. I love you. Let's win. Do not let up. Do not let up. Pedal to the metal till November.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz of Texas.
Hello, Milwaukee. On behalf of the great state of Texas, it is an honor to be with you tonight. I am the proud granddaughter of Mexican farm workers who came here with little more than faith in God. They never had much money, but they instilled in us strong Texas values. They taught me that through hard work, anything is possible in America. And then I proved it by getting myself through school and building a successful small business. It wasn't easy, but I'm living proof that the American dream, el sueño americano, can become reality. Only in America can a little girl from South Texas go from watching her abuelo pick watermelons to serving in the people's house. Now, as a mother, I often think about my kids' future, and I'm worried. The American dream is slipping away. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris make it impossible for hardworking Americans like the people in my community to get ahead. Their policies put home ownership out of reach. Wages can't keep up with inflation. They give benefits to illegal immigrants and cut Medicare Advantage for our seniors. They say their immigration policies are compassionate, but there's nothing compassionate about open borders. They threaten our national security, flood our country with deadly drugs, killing our precious children. Biden and Harris don't care about immigrants. They just use them for political gain. We deserve so much better. We must make America strong again by re-electing President Trump. Under his leadership, we can put hardworking Americans first again, end this border crisis. We can restore peace and prosperity, creating an amazing future with endless possibilities. And we can rebuild the most vital institution of all, the American family. Together, we can turn Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's national nightmare into a revival of the American dream. Thank you, Milwaukee. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Acting Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Tom Homan.
Thank you. How you doing? My home state, New York. Where's New York at? Give me a shout. Damn right. Look, for those who don't know me, my name is Tom Homan. I began my career as a Border Patrol agent in 1984. After 34 years, I became the first director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, that actually came up through the ranks. I've worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I've worked for said they're going to secure the border. President Trump actually did it. He created the most secure border in our history, and that's a stone cold fact. The data proves it, and guess what? He's going to do it again. Under President Trump, we cut illegal immigration by 90%, the lowest level in 45 years. Deportations rose to the highest level ever, including historic numbers of illegal alien gang members and criminals. Most importantly, 4 years under President Trump, we had 13 people we arrested on a terrorist watch list. Joe Biden, 381. And let's remember, we got over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them came from a country that sponsored terrorism? God help us. Biden is the first president in American history to come into office and unsecure a border. Who the hell does that? On their first day in office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris suspended deportations. They stopped the border wall. They canceled Remain in Mexico. They reinstated catch and release. They proposed amnesty for millions, along with free health care. And now we have a record illegal immigration, a record number of women and children being sex trafficked, a record number of Americans dying from fentanyl, a record number of known as suspected terrorists sneaking across our border. And here's what you need to know. This isn't mismanagement. This isn't incompetence. This is by design, and it's a choice. It's national suicide. But you know what? On November 5th, the American people do have a choice, and they're going to stop this madness. I got a message. As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done. President Trump is going to end the Biden-Harris open border madness. We will stop the drugs and the crime from pouring into your neighborhoods. President Trump has proven to the American people that he's a warrior. And he's going to make America safe again, and you can take that to the bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage David Lara.
Hello, Milwaukee. Quiero dar un saludo a toda la comunidad y audiencia hispana. I am a proud husband and father of a small business in San Luis, Arizona. a town that sits directly on the U.S.-Mexico border. We are the front line of the Biden's border crisis. Small towns like mine bear the brunt of the chaos. Imagine crowds rushing the port, overwhelming Border Patrol when they know they don't have enough agents to detain everyone. Imagine strangers terrorizing your homes, your neighbors, your yards, and local schools going fearful to let children walk home. Imagine the fire department using off-road vehicles to bring your neighbors to the hospital because the ambulances are taken by so-called asylum seekers. Imagine being treated as second-class citizens, as chaos and crime overwhelm your streets. I don't have to imagine this. I've watched it with my own eyes. I've seen my town suffer because Biden and Kamala Harris want the illegal immigration crisis to continue. And no amount of suffering has changed their mind or convinced them to finally put Americans first. In San Luis, Mexican drug cartels use school children as mules. Let that sink in. Deadly drugs flow through our town, bringing crime and violence. San Luis wasn't always this way, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do not care. In fact, they seem satisfied. They have done nothing to stop it and everything to make it worse. They have never set foot on my border town. 4 years ago, president who believed in borders, and we have a president who traveled all the way to San Luis. We had a president who cared, and we can have that president again. We must re-elect President Trump to close the border, the crime, and stop the drugs from pouring in. We must re-elect President Trump to imprison and deport violent gang members instead of coddling them, terrorize our nation. We must re-elect President Trump to put our citizens first and make America strong again. Los Latinos estamos con Trump. Thank you, Milwaukee. American Latinos for Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arizona ranchers Jim and Sue Chilton.
My name is Jim Chilton, and this is my beautiful wife, Sue. We've been married for 60 years. I'm a fifth-generation rancher from Arivaca, Arizona, the great state of Arizona. 5.5 miles of our ranch is the U.S.-Mexico border. It's a known route for drug smuggling and human trafficking. On the screen, you'll see footage from our ranch. Since Joe Biden took office, our hidden cameras have recorded over 3,500 drug packers and others dressed in camouflage marching north through our ranch. These are not asylum seekers. It looks like and it feels like an invasion because it is. In April alone, over 5,000 additional unvetted aliens entered our ranch claiming economic asylum. We know firsthand that Biden's open border is our nation's greatest national security threat. We need to make America safe again.
Every time Jim leaves the ranch house, I have to worry that he won't come back alive. Our house has been broken into twice. A Border Patrol agent was shot 5 times by drug smugglers on our ranch. This year alone, 3 crossers died of dehydration on our ranch. The cartel drug smugglers are crossing our nation's border every day. They are bringing lethal drugs into our country. This is chemical warfare. It's killing Americans. Under President Donald Trump, it wasn't like this. And if we bring him back, I know he'll stop it again.
Biden, Harris, and the Democrats who support open borders are complicit in this death, in the death of tens of thousands of American citizens. When Joe Biden took office, the Trump wall was nearly complete on our ranch. But Biden halted the construction and stopped the installation of all the planned electronics. Since then, crossing on our ranch has increased 5-fold. 5-fold. It's like Biden and Harris want the lawlessness. The fact is that walls work. We must elect Donald Trump to finish the wall. To stop the cartels. and we must keep America safe and strong. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless all of you.
As Commander-in-Chief, he always had his soldiers' backs, was always there to support them and their families. He kept his promise to keep them out of endless wars and to never forget about them after they served. America learned having a weak leader can tragically lead to American deaths, which is why America needs strength now more than ever.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott.
Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Come on, let's go. As governor of the largest border state, the great state of Texas, I can tell you, America needs a president who will secure our border. America needs Donald J. Trump. The president's most sacred duty is to secure our country. Donald Trump fulfilled that duty by eliminating illegal immigration. Under President Trump, we had the lowest illegal border crossings in about 4 decades. By contrast, however, Joe Biden deserted his duty. On his first day in office, he gutted President Trump's policies. And the result has been catastrophic. Under Joe Biden, illegal immigration has skyrocketed. Under his watch, around 11 million immigrants have crossed our border illegally. That's more than the entire population of Michigan. It's twice the population of Wisconsin. Biden has welcomed into our country rapists, murderers, even terrorists, and the price that we have paid has been deadly. Among the many victims was 12-year-old Jocelyn from Houston, Texas, raped and murdered by 2 illegal immigrants. She's one of thousands whose lives have been destroyed by Joe Biden's open border policies. To make matters even worse, Biden is even fighting tooth and nail to stop Texas and other Republican states from securing our own borders. I deployed thousands of National Guard soldiers to build hundreds of miles of razor wire barriers. Give it up for our National Guard. They built those barriers to stop illegal crossings. When Joe Biden ordered to cut that razor wire, I ordered the National Guard to triple the razor wire on the border. When Biden took 50 acres of Texas border property to illegally process up to 5,000 illegal immigrants a day, I directed the Texas National Guard to take back our land and wire it shut. Now, there's no longer 5,000 people crossing the border like there was under Joe Biden. Now that the National Guard wired that shut, on average, there is one illegal immigrant crossing the border at that location a day. When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris refused to even come to Texas and to see the border crisis that they created, I took the border to them. I began busing illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. And we have continued busing migrants to sanctuary cities across the entire country. And those buses will continue to roll until we finally secure our border. Fortunately, I see hope on the horizon, because on November the 5th, Joe Biden will be fired. And Donald Trump will once again become the President of the United States of America. He will enforce the immigration laws. He will fight the Mexican drug cartels. And he will arrest the criminal illegal immigrants and put them behind bars. Or send them back. It is time. It is time to restore order at the border. It is time to rid our streets of crime and chaos. It is time to secure our nation by returning Donald Trump as President of the United States of America. Thank you all. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome petroleum engineer and energy advocate, Sarah Phillips.
Good evening, Milwaukee. This past Saturday, I was at the Trump rally in Butler. I, in fact, was the first speaker on stage that day. As you can imagine, it was a terrifying experience, but nothing was going to stop me from being here to support President Trump. Thank God President Trump is alive. I'm Sarah Phillips, and I'm honored to speak to you about one of the most important issues in this campaign, energy. President Trump is high energy and supports energy. Biden is low energy and is against energy. The difference is significant for you and significant for our country. President Trump understands that abundant, affordable energy is vital to our economy and to our national security. Meanwhile, President Biden is pushing the Green New scam. President Biden declared war on the oil and gas industry since day one. He canceled the Keystone Pipeline, overrode congressionally directed oil lease sales in Alaska, and has proposed massive tax hikes on oil and gas. His campaign against responsible development of oil and gas is crushing everyday Americans like you and me. I know this firsthand as a petroleum engineer who worked on the front lines as a roughneck. I have witnessed the safe and environmentally responsible way America develops oil and gas resources. And I have worked side by side with those in the field who I consider family and who are dedicated and hardworking. Their critical work is so critical for our country. The hydrocarbons that are being extracted are a true gift. From powering our cars and heating our homes to being a building block for fertilizer, plastic, and many other products, our society and our standard of living could not exist without fossil fuels. Texas. That is among the many reasons why we need to return Donald Trump to the White House. With President Trump back in charge, we'll not only be energy independent, we'll be energy dominant. We'll create jobs, increase investment, and improve our national security. Under President Trump's leadership, America's great economic revival will be powered by American energy. He did it before, and he will do it again. For the sake of our economy, for the sake of our quality of life, and for the sake of America's future, let's return Donald Trump to the White House. Texas. Drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the mayor of East Palestine, Ohio, Trent Conaway.
Good evening. February 3rd, 2023 began like any other Midwestern day, but in a heartbeat, everything changed. I'm Trent Conaway, the proud mayor of East Palestine, Ohio. When the train derailed, spewing flames and toxic chemicals to our town, faced a disaster unlike we'd ever seen. And in the chaos, we witnessed a clear contrast between leadership and incompetence. Our first responders didn't hesitate. They raced to the scene, they battled the flames, and evacuated our citizens. And for that, I want to thank every one of them tonight. Unfortunately, the Biden administration's federal response was much different. It consisted almost entirely of meetings and press events. They talked and talked, but they delivered little help. Then there was the clear difference between former President Trump and President Biden. For the longest time, the White House was silent, and we never heard a word from Vice President Harris. I guess we weren't their type of folks. No Hollywood elites or Wall Street billionaires live in East Palestine, just hardworking Americans. But Donald Trump cared. First, he called to ask permission to visit, not wanting to intrude, and then he asked how he could help. When he arrived with fresh pallets of drinking water, he met with everyone, from first responders to local officials and residents. He toured the derailment site. He listened to us, and he shared a meal with volunteers at a local McDonald's. His presence was genuine. His concern was real. After a year of criticism, President Biden finally did show up. His appearance was brief, forced, and scripted. He met with a select few and then left. We needed so much, and he delivered so little. I know a thing or two about train wrecks now, and let me tell you, that's what the Biden administration has been. Before President Biden derails our entire nation, we need to act. We need a leader who values small-town communities as much as big cities. We need a president who loves all Americans. We need Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the governor of North Dakota, Doug Burgum.
Hello, Milwaukee. And hello, North Dakota. Feels good to be here. The last time I was in Milwaukee, in this building, standing behind a podium was for the debate, and I stood on one leg for 2 hours. You guys might remember I blew my Achilles the day before. But to kick things off, I have a question for you, and I need your help answering so nice and so loud that everyone at home can hear you. Are you ready? Who will make America energy dominant? Again, who will make America energy dominant? Well, that's pretty good, but it's after 4 p.m. in D.C., so how about one more time loud enough to wake up Joe Biden? Who will make America energy dominant? That's right, because when President Trump unleashes American energy, we unleash American prosperity, and we ensure our national security. Serving as a governor with President Trump was like having a beautiful breeze at our back. He cut taxes and he cut red tape. Serving as a governor under Joe Biden has been like a gale force wind in our face. Biden's war on energy hurts every American because the cost of energy is in everything we use or touch every day. Biden's red tape has raised the price of the gas in your car, the cost of food on your table, the clothes on your back, and it's even raised your rent. Biden's green agenda feels like it was written by China, Russia, and Iran. Let's look at Biden's EV mandates. Where do nearly all the batteries and rare earth minerals come from? China, you know. And the day that Biden halted permits for clean U.S. natural gas export facilities, just think about the party they must have thrown that night at the Kremlin. Because Biden's policies are making Russia and Iran filthy rich. And they're using that money to fund wars and terrorism against our allies. At home, Biden is acting like a dictator. He's using mandates to shut down reliable baseload electricity. That's why your electric bills have soared upwards as our nation's electric grid reliability spirals downward. 4 more years of Joe will usher an era of Biden brownouts and blackouts. Imagine no electricity for your fridge, your lights, or air conditioning. President Trump will ensure that there is power for you, and importantly, that we have the power as the United States to beat China in the AI arms race. Unleashing American energy dominance is our path back to prosperity and peace through strength. Teddy Roosevelt encouraged America to speak softly and carry a big stick. Energy dominance will be the big stick that President Trump will carry. Yes, President Trump will make sure that America is selling energy to our allies versus buying it from our adversaries. Innovation has always been the source of American greatness, and President Trump champions innovation over regulation. Last year, over that whole year, my wife Catherine and I traveled all across America. As all of you know, it's rural America that feeds the world, that fuels the world, and defends the world. Small towns with a huge impact, and rural America is Trump country. In North Dakota, we know one thing for sure because we've seen him do it, and that's that the hardest working president in American history is Donald J. Trump. President Trump cares deeply about every American, rig workers, truck drivers, roughnecks, and yes, America's great farmers and ranchers. President Trump cares deeply about you. We know that he'll fight for us, he'll fight for our families, and we know one more thing. He'll let all of you keep driving your gas-powered cars. When President Trump unleashes energy dominance, he will make America affordable again. He will make America strong again. And when President Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance together, they will make America great again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former counselor to President Donald J. Trump, Kellyanne Conway.
Good evening, Patriots. 8 years ago, Donald Trump shocked the system and defied the doubters to become the 45th president of the United States. He didn't want fortune or fame, power and position. He already had all of that. Donald Trump and his family made enormous sacrifices to run and to serve as president. He didn't need to do it. He wanted to do it. My relationship with Mr. Trump was forged under fire in a foxhole in 2016 after he asked me to be his campaign manager. We had no idea that he was making history as the first successful presidential nominee ever to tap a woman to lead a campaign. But that was a natural for Donald J. Trump. He had elevated women in New York real estate decades before when few people would. One morning, I was in an early senior staff meeting in the White House, and as I glanced around the table, something caught my eye. In that meeting were Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Mercedes Schlapp, Brooke Rollins, Ivanka Trump, and me. I soon realized that among us, we have 19 children. At the time, ages 2 through 16. Show me a C-suite in America where 5 working moms of 19 young children could have the highest rank in the company and work alongside the president. In the Trump White House, we lived it. Sure, he saw something in me and the other working moms that perhaps we did not see in ourselves. But more importantly, he sees what's best and what's possible for millions of decent, hardworking Americans. Now, 8 years later, he and his family have made the sacrifice again for him to run and serve as president. Donald Trump could be the envy of former presidents. He's a billionaire who could play golf every day at his own golf courses. He can enjoy a magnificent life with his incredible 5 children, his 10 amazing grandchildren, and that extraordinary, elegant, beautiful, brilliant wife. The former and future First Lady, Melania Trump. He does not need to do this, but we need him to do this. How often do we hear, "I want Trump's policies without Trump's personality"? Well, good luck with that. We don't get those policies without that personality. Taking out al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, ending the ISIS caliphate, recalibrating trade deals, restoring sanity, growth, and fairness in our economy, making our southern border more secure and sovereign, supporting school choice, protecting life, respecting workers, backing our blue, our military, and our border patrol. You get that through strength and toughness. Weakness emboldens our adversaries, enables failure, and empowers evil. The answer to weakness is strength. The antidote to division is unity. And the alternative to failure and incompetence, to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, is to send them packing and send Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House. If you know someone who is skeptical about the Republican Party or who is cynical about politics, don't dismiss them. Talk to them. We win through addition, not division. In Donald Trump's Republican Party, everyone is welcome. Yes. We have been called deplorable, irredeemable, MAGA extremists, and worse. But Donald Trump sees you for who you are. You love your God, you love your family, and you love your country. In 2024, there should be no more hidden, undercover Trump voters. It's time to put that flag on your front porch, that red hat on your head, because we don't cave and we don't cower and we do not capitulate. Instead, we get up, we show up, we stand up, and we speak up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your movement. This is your moment. And this is the man I know and the president we need for 4 more years. He picks the toughest fights and wins. He has stood by me, and he will always stand up for you. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I would describe Joe Biden as an absolutely horrible commander-in-chief and a danger to every single person wearing the uniform.
We don't have that sense of leadership. We don't have that sense of trust.
I think it's absolutely unforgivable that a commander-in-chief would leave people behind.
The military has been unfortunately demoralized. You've seen the enrollment drop precipitously under this administration.
They don't feel like they have a leader, somebody that they can follow.
I do believe this country is less secure with Joe Biden as president.
We're absolutely 100% weaker with Joe Biden as our president.
We are far less secure today under Joe Biden's watch than we've probably ever been.
Our enemies see Joe Biden as a weak president.
Our enemies have taken full advantage of Joe Biden's weakness as commander-in-chief.
The weakness of President Biden has strengthened our enemies. All you have to do is take a look at the border.
Even in America, we're scared. It's not safe to walk our streets here in the United States of America because of President Biden.
Well, I served under every president from Ronald Reagan when I first enlisted, all the way through Joe Biden. And by far, Donald Trump was the most respected and best commander-in-chief that we had. Donald Trump is a strong leader. He cared about the troops. He showed in his actions that he put us first.
I have the utmost confidence in President Trump as our commander-in-chief. He will stand up for the American service member.
Under Donald Trump, that military can be brought back to as strong as it was.
We were absolutely more respected under President Trump from all countries, even if it was ones that were our adversaries.
Leaders across the world knew that if he said something, that he would act.
Under President Trump, in 4 years, there was no foreign war to be fought. There was no invasion of Ukraine.
If President Trump was still president, we wouldn't have had the attacks in Israel. We wouldn't have a lot of these foreign issues that we're seeing right now.
He was respected on the world stage.
When President Trump was president, these people all stayed in their place. They understood we had a strong leader.
We are definitely more secure with Donald Trump as the President of the United States.
Joe Biden puts veterans last. President Trump is the only president that's actually cared about the veterans.
President Trump was led from the front, not the rear.
I'm a proud Democrat, but I'm more proud to say that I'm a veteran, and I do wish that all Democrats, all people would vote for President Trump.
President Donald J. Trump has been the best commander-in-chief for the men and women in the uniform in the last 20 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna of Florida.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Congresswoman Luna, and I represent the great people of Florida. The greatness and strength of America are beacons of hope for countless lives around the world. Our strength ensures our safety and security. My husband and I knew this when we joined the Air Force. But we don't preserve peace and stability by policing the world or by involving ourselves in every foreign conflict. We preserve peace by commanding the world's respect, a respect that is earned through unparalleled military strength and firm, decisive leadership. Over the past 4 years, the Biden administration has failed to uphold this standard. They have misused our resources in foreign wars contrary to our national interests, and they have eroded the lethality and fighting culture of our armed forces. The leadership that we need, that respects our military and understands the true cost of war, is only found in Donald Trump. He will make America strong again. He will fight for the American warfighter, the American people, and America's interests. Hawks and globalist elites do not sway President Trump. He knows the cost of military action like I do. My husband was shot in combat by terrorists and continued to deploy in the fight against America's enemies. I know the fear and anguish of waiting for news about a loved one in harm's way and the pain of losing friends in combat. President Trump knows what it means to put your life on the line. Our service members and their families make immense sacrifices, and they deserve a president who respects that sacrifice and who would lay down his own life in defense of this great nation. President Trump has demonstrated he's ready to do just that. It is time that we all rise to his stature. The world needs a strong America, and America needs strong leadership. President Trump will provide it. Regardless of race, gender, color, or creed, I urge you to vote for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance on November 5th. It's time to unite America. Thank you, Milwaukee. God bless the United States. Let's get him in.
It was Christmas Day. We boarded Air Force One in complete and total darkness, in the pitch black of night. We landed in war-torn Western Iraq. No lights on the runway. There were hundreds of troops packed into a dining hall. They had absolutely no idea that the President and First Lady were about to walk into that room. And when they did, it was a sight and a sound and a scene that I hope I never forget. That room absolutely erupted. That was the kind of patriotism President Trump brought back to our country. One of the young soldiers yelled from the back of the room, "Mr. President, I re-enlisted in the military because of you." And without missing a beat, the president said, "And son, I am here because of you."
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Medal of Honor recipient David Bellavia.
Thank you. In 2019, President Donald Trump awarded me the Medal of Honor for my service in Fallujah during the Iraq War. Thank you. Today, I speak across the country on behalf of our military services, and I ask parents, I look them right in the eye, like I'm looking at you, and I ask them, will you give America your sons and daughters to serve in the greatest force for good this world has ever seen, the United States military? I tell them what I learned when I was in combat. Your sons and daughters will be loved. They'll be our family. And that bond, that commitment is for a lifetime. Their response? Well, it's changed in the last couple of years. Now they say, what about the 13 heroes we lost at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan? Now they say, What about the desperate civilians falling off the transport airplanes? Now they ask, what about the American citizens we left behind for the enemy? They say to me, under Biden-Harris, we don't believe you. They no longer see their sacrifice as worthwhile, that their service makes us all better off. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I'll tell you what, we're all going to answer that question in November. Here's something for you. Let's ask it the other way around. Let's ask, are our enemies better off than they were 4 years ago? Iran and its proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, China, Russia. Well, Iran is richer, Russia is bigger, and China is stronger. And their unchecked aggression proves that the answer is a resounding yes. The Biden-Harris foreign policy undermines American security, and watching their administration lose the gains President Donald Trump made overseas not only destroys our morale, it empowers our enemies abroad. Under their watch, a record number of American embassies have been forced to evacuate, and military recruitment has plunged, and confidence in the armed forces has reached a 20-year low. Under President Donald Trump, our enemies will know that American power is as decisive as it is overwhelming. And if you provoke the United States of America, we will hurt you. And if you threaten citizens of the United States of America, we will hurt you for generations to come, so help me God. Donald Trump is a commander-in-chief that I am confident to tell parents is at the helm. Donald Trump loves America. He too has bled for the nation that he loves. May God bless America. May God bless our Gold Star families. Thank you for what you've given this country. And may God keep President Donald Trump safe and in his hands. May God make America strong. May God make America great again. Join me in voting for Commander-in-Chief Donald J. Trump for President of the United States. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Afghanistan war veteran, Scott Neal.
Thank you. Look at all these great Americans here. Well, good evening, my fellow Americans. My name is Scotty Neal, and I'm a proud United States Army Green Beret veteran. Thank you. And the most important part is I'm a proud veteran entrepreneur. Almost 23 years ago, Al-Qaeda declared war on America September 11th, 2001. Weeks later, Green Berets from the 5th Special Forces Group became the first Americans in uniform to deploy to Afghanistan, and I was one of them. Thank you. Deep in enemy territory, some of us rode on horses. Some of us went further behind the lines to track down the terrorists who killed our fellow Americans. Today they call us the horse soldiers. Thank you. For the next 17 years, we were on the forefront of this country in Iraq, in Africa. Again and again, we deployed for our fellow Americans. Some of us sacrificed our bodies. Some of us sacrificed our lives for the American people. And for me, America was worth it. Thank you. Thank you. Now, after leaving the military, I wanted to live the American dream I had been defending. And I wanted to start a business with my friends that I served with. Today, my company's known as American Freedom Distillery, and we make Horse Soldier bourbon. We are building our forever home in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. That's right, where true bourbon comes from, in a little small town called Somerset. Please come visit us. All of our ingredients are made here in the United States of America. We ensure we hire veterans. We want to prove that America remains the land of opportunity for those brave enough to reach out and grab it. But tragically, almost 3 years ago, my fellow veterans and I recoiled at the bloody anarchy of President Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. We saw weakness and chaos. We saw 13 of our brothers and sisters lose their lives. Most of us veterans who served got phone calls for those courageous Afghanistans that we fought with in the mountains as they were pleading with us not to leave them behind. Throughout our careers, we never had regrets about our service. But this moral injury caused many of us to ask, why did we serve if this was the outcome? But despite this dark chapter, I know America is good. We're still the shiny city on the hill that everybody wants to come to. But we need a president with a record of making our country better and not worse. And that's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. Exactly. He encourages patriotic Americans to celebrate the country they love. He supports anyone brave enough to reach out for the American dream and to fight for it. And he's the only candidate in this race who embodies the American determination and decisiveness. Let's make America strong again. Let's vote for Donald Trump. Thank you. Dio presso liber. God bless America.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump.
Take us over the road. Man made the train. Carry the heavy load. Man made the electric lights. Take us out of the dark. And man made the boat over water. Like my Bible said, Noah made a baby boy. Man, make them happy, because man, make them toys. But after, man, make everything you can. Man, make lira, pesos, dollars, rubles,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like you, I have spent much of my time the last few days in prayer. And I know that God has put an armor of protection over Donald Trump. We are all reminded that love for our nation and the beauty of life itself transcends all hatred and political divisions. I stand before you tonight more convinced than ever. This is the most important election in our lifetime. This election will decide the fate of our great nation. And that is why we must elect President Donald John Trump. This is not just a choice between Republicans and Democrats. This is a choice between safety or chaos, wealth or poverty, national sovereignty or open borders. This election is a choice between Joe Biden's vision for American weakness and Donald Trump's vision of American greatness. Donald Trump will once again make our country strong, safe, and prosperous. He will make America feared by our adversaries and respected by our friends. And most importantly, he will always put America first. After 4 years of Joe Biden's disastrous America Last agenda, our country is more dangerous, vulnerable, and impoverished than anyone had thought possible. President Trump handed Biden a booming economy and a strong nation. All Joe had to do was leave it alone and take a nap. But Joe just couldn't help himself. Joe Biden cannot lead America. He cannot even lead himself off a stage. Now Americans are drowning in inflation. Insanity spreads like a cancer in our schools. We are closer to World War III than any time in my life. And we are facing an unprecedented invasion of millions of illegal aliens across our southern border. Rioters and looters go free, while Biden and the Democrats persecute American heroes like Donald Trump. Tens of millions of Americans are made to feel like enemies in our own country. An enemy for wanting to defend our border, for not wanting our children indoctrinated in school, for not wanting to erase our history, for praying to our God, saying what we think, and fighting for what we believe. It is no wonder that the heroes who stormed the beaches of Normandy and faced down communism sadly say they don't recognize our country anymore. This is not an accident. The powerful elites in the swamp will say anything to crush and destroy the America First movement. But we will never give up, and neither will Donald J. Trump. I know I speak for patriots everywhere when I say we are fed up. We are outraged about sex trafficking and drug trafficking across our southern border. We are fed up with the forever wars. We are done being told by the radical left to sit down, shut up, and obey. The Democrat vision for America is governed by fear, hatred, and political oppression. Our vision is defined by a love of our country, love for our fellow citizens, and our love of freedom. In our vision, we will secure the southern border and deport the violent criminal aliens once and for all. In our vision, America will combat foreign aggressors and ensure our service members are protected, not abandoned, as they carry out their dangerous missions abroad. Because we know we can only have peace through strength. We will restore an era of national pride, where freedom of speech is respected and cancel culture is ended. Where high school girls only compete with other girls, not biological men. Where struggling cities never put criminal illegal aliens above our heroic veterans and brave law enforcement. Where our streets are not ruled by gangs and rioters, but governed by law and order. Where students are freed from failing schools and corrupt teachers' unions through universal school choice. Where our most sacred institutions are not weaponized against political opponents, but are fair, equal, and just. And where we teach our children to love our country, learn our history, and respect our American flag. I believe in America. I believe in our freedom and liberty. And I believe in Donald John Trump. And I want Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and all of the radical Democrats to know this. We will not be bullied into obedience. We will not cower in silence. We will fight for America because we love America. I stand before you as a working mother, a former prosecutor, a Catholic, and a proud Latina. I know personally what every American has now seen with their own eyes. I know the measure of the man that stands before us. Donald Trump will never stop fighting for you. president again. Victory is in our sights. America's future is in our hands. America's destiny is in our control. And America's prosperity is in our hearts and souls. America, this is your moment. Will you stand for President Trump? Rise up! Rise up! Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of liberty and freedom and the American dream, this is our last chance to make America great again. God bless you. God bless President Trump, and may God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Michael Waltz of Florida.
I am so honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Patriots. I am so honored to stand before you as a 27-year Army veteran.